Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am very excited to show you this latest house that I've been working on for a couple of days now. It is available to download from the gallery now, but it's taken me a little bit of time to get this speed build video up. Editing such a long video for me personally, it's nearly 18 minutes long, this video, which is a little bit longer than my usual videos, but that is because this is a slightly larger home with a little bit more detailing. So I'm really happy with how this house came out. I do have another autumnal family home available to download as well, and there is a speed build video on the channel, but this house is quite a bit bigger than that one, and I think it turned out so nicely. It's so mismatched and it's just got this really nice homey feel about it. So I really hope you all like playing in this house or just looking at it as much as I enjoyed building it. I am very happy that it is now autumn, and it means that I can do a lot of autumnal houses and apartments and all kinds of things for the channel. So I am very, very excited for the next couple of months. And then obviously as we get into Christmas, I will be probably doing some Christmas builds as well. So this is just a fantastic time of year for me. So we're just working on the exterior of the house here. I wanted to keep this very homey rustic vibe going throughout the build, and you will see me here playing around with some windows, but as you've probably seen from the video at the start, we do end up changing these out for some mixed windows, mainly from Discover University, because I think the windows that came with that pack are absolutely gorgeous and they fit this house really, really well. And I also use this dark blue wood paneling on the outside, which I think looks really, really nice. And we do end up mixing, this might seem a bit strange, the trim on the edges of the roofing is obviously this very warm brown colour, but we keep the middle section and the sort of like, I don't know what you call them, the columns that I've used on the edges there, they stay white. And this is what I meant by this house is very mismatchy. I kind of had in my head that the family that lived here didn't necessarily not care about how the house looks, but just accepted it for what it was, and maybe did a little bit of renovation on the outside but kept some of the initial sort of design ideas. So that was the thought process there. So it is a little bit mix and match, but I think it actually works really, really well with this style of build. And we do some really nice landscaping on the front. For the first time ever, I put a driveway with a car on. I will pause for reaction. Not that I'm going to get one, but I have never, I don't think that I can remember, put a driveway with a car on a build. Ever. And I use a lot of debug items on the outside as well, which I'm not used to doing, but I thought this was a really good chance to experiment with that. And I did it a little bit with my other autumn house, but this one I've definitely done a bit more of that as well, and I think it looks really nice. I think I'm really pleased with how the entire build came out, even the inside, and the floor plan upstairs is questionable, but you'll see why when we get to that part of the house why I'm saying that. But we do these really cute sort of like pebble stones at the front. I think it just looks really, really nice. A lot of time is spent on the exterior of this build just trying to find some objects in the debug menu, trying to figure out what would look nice, what matches, what doesn't go. And we do there's a lot of indecisiveness, but that's okay. It's all part of the process. And I don't think too much changes on the exterior, but I feel like I stopped recording for some reason because I was being really indecisive about something. Yeah. So basically what I was doing was I basically just put a few more bushes around the driveway and did some terrain paint. That's pretty much all I did. And then I think I added a few little bits to the exterior as well. So like the planters underneath the windows and the beams underneath the roof trim, stuff like that. Stuff that for some reason was taking me a really long time to figure out, hence why I didn't record it. So I apologise for that. However, It ends up being really nice, even though it took me a little while to get here. It was definitely worth it. And there's plenty of space in the back for the back garden, which I actually didn't record doing because it's just a big space with like a patio and a grilling area, and there's like a swing set and obviously things for children to play with, because this is a very, very family friendly house. The whole point of this build was for it to be for families, and so that was definitely my main sort of what word am I trying to look for here? The main point of this build was that it was supposed to be for a family to move in, and so we do this really nice homey kitchen, again with the mix matching of the counters and the cabinets above. Even though they're the same style, they are different colours, because I love doing that in my builds. I've been doing it for a really long time, and I think it just adds a little bit more personality. I don't always mix match them, but more often than not I definitely do. And then I do a little bit of a move objects cheat on the chairs, just to make them look like they're not quite in place. Again, just keeping it's supposed to be a family home, so you know it's not going to be perfectly tidy all the time. And so yeah, we clutter up the kitchen massively and make a few choices and a few indecisions and things, but what else is new with me? But the end result ends up being, I'm pretty happy with it. I do like this kitchen, and these counters from, I believe, the Parenthood pack are definitely some of my favourite counters. I think the swatches are really nice and the style of them is just really good. So we do a lot of that, and also I wanted to keep the theme of autumn running through the build, so you'll see a lot of oranges, greens, natural woods, things like that, because I definitely wanted it to be, it's supposed to be an autumn house, right? So you know, there's a couple of pumpkins in the living room and things like that. So I just think it turned out really, really nicely, and as I said at the start, I am quite happy with how this came out. So still working on the kitchen. I can't believe how long it takes me to actually decide on swatches and what's supposed to go where, and we change out the colour of the fridge and the cooker as well. I believe the cooker we changed to black, and the fridge freezer we changed to like a dark brown colour, which is a swatch I have never ever considered using before. But again, talking about mismatching, you know, it's the family probably didn't get them together, so they just wanted to get items that possibly would look nice together but didn't necessarily match. And so we have a dining area here as well, which is really nice. I'm glad I left enough room for this, because obviously with it being a family house, it's quite important for them to have somewhere to sit down properly and have a meal. So yeah, we've changed the swatches of the appliances, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it can make all the difference to a room, just swapping out a swatch here and there and just having a play with colour palettes and things like that. So that's definitely something that I really enjoy doing and something that I really focus on. And so we do change the colour of the walls eventually. They stay green, but I believe they're a different swatch if I remember correctly. And just making the living room here, again, really, really homey, and a place where the family would want to spend time together as well. So using a lot of items from Eco Lifestyle and Seasons and Cats and Dogs, just these very warm rustic items, and I absolutely love using them. And the space here isn't quite big enough for a regular sized coffee table, so we use this one from Tiny Living, and we put these really cute log candles on them, and I would love something like that in my house. My husband and I do have a candle that's in like a carved out bit of bark from the trunk of a tree, and it's really cute, but it's only got one big candle in it, and we haven't actually burnt it yet because we don't want to ruin it. But I figure that even if we burn it, maybe we could replace the wax in it. I don't know, but we've had it for about 2 years now and we still haven't lit it because it's too nice to light. And this house even has a little office nook, which I normally don't leave room for. So it was really nice for me to just play around with all these new sort of like spaces, because my builds are normally quite a bit smaller than this, and I think that's because larger builds do tend to intimidate me a little bit. I don't know how you guys feel about them, but people that can do these huge builds and make each room absolutely stunning, I'm in awe of you if you can do that. I'm in absolute awe of you, because I don't think I mean, I think I could probably do it, but it's actually getting round to it and getting the motivation to finish it. I know that sounds really bad, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you do it. But we're working on the bathrooms here. All the bathrooms in the house, which there are 3 of them in this house, if I remember correctly, they have all the same wall and floor swatches because I just wanted to keep sort of like the continuity going throughout the house. And each bathroom is decorated slightly differently, so they do look really, really nice. And this room down here was initially going to be a study, but then I realised it's quite all the rooms in this house are an odd shape. So if you do download this house, or if you have already downloaded this house and you're now watching the speed build, the rooms are very oddly shaped because I am not the best at designing floor plans. I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I do struggle with floor plans. And again, people that can just do a floor plan and it looks so logical and it makes sense. Can I have your skills, please? Because I feel like all my houses are just really weirdly shaped and the floor plans are just strange. But I feel like in real houses, especially a house like this, I don't know whether this is a realistic floor plan or not, but the 4th bedroom upstairs, which I created for a toddler, I mean, it could easily be changed to a child's room, but I thought let's just cover all bases here. And that is it's like an L shape, but it's really narrow. So that's why I didn't include any screenshots at the end of the video of that room, because it was really hard for me to dip down into the game and actually get a screenshot where I could make it look half decent, which I know is really weird. And then we jump upstairs and start decorating upstairs. I went ahead and did the bathrooms off camera because, as I said, there's just slight variations between the bathrooms in terms of design. So I didn't think it was necessary to put them in the speed build. But if you do download this house, you'll see exactly what I mean. And this master bedroom, I think, proved to be quite not hard, because I haven't had this much fun decorating a master bedroom in a really long time, but I think that's because I knew I could kind of mismatch it and I wasn't necessarily focusing too much on making it too perfect. So I think because I had fun with it, it actually turned out really nicely. And so we do end up swapping out the bed, and I don't know if we swap out the rug at the end as well, but we put in a nice bookshelf here and just add some clutter items, obviously, to make sure it looks like lived in, and put some candles on the floor and things like that, just making it look a little bit more homey. And we do experiment here with some of those vertical wooden slats for the walls, which we end up throwing out because it just didn't work. And then we end up landing on the bed that came with the Seasons pack because it just looks like a really cozy bed, and I think it fit really well with this room. And then I think we move on to the twin room in a moment, if I remember correctly. Anyway, yeah, that's not important, but here we go, working on the twin room. And I was just deciding, so the bedroom downstairs is catered more towards either a male child sim or a tomboy, or I mean whoever really, but it's definitely very, blue. It's got blues and reds in it and things like that. And then I kept this one quite girly because obviously I don't know what kind of sim families that you guys have that you would maybe want to live in this house. So I tried to cover as much basis as I could, but it's very easily changeable if you just change out the swatches from the beds if you want to, or change out the beds entirely. But I did use the single beds from the Tiny Living Stuff pack in this room, and I think they work really, really nicely. I think it turned out really cute, this room. It's again, it's an odd shape, but I think we made it work. So we put in a divider there as well, and I can imagine the Sims that are in here, they probably get along really well, but they like their own privacy as well because they're getting to that age, so again, just adding some clutter items here and making sure that everything is sitting quite perfectly and nothing's sort of cutting in or anything like that. And I used a lot of items from the Parenthood and the Kids Room packs. If I remember correctly, I actually went in and organised the items as per the packs, so I made sure that everything was kind of catered you know, towards the kids. And yeah, I actually really like this room. I think it turned out really, really nicely. And then we move on to the toddler room next, and this is, you'll see in a moment, this is the room that's a really weird shape, and it's there, you can see it on the left right there. It's so strange. I think looking back I could have maybe turned that into, well, I don't know, I probably didn't. That was my mouth, by the way, making that sound. I probably made the right call and utilized the space as best I could, but I think someone else could probably design this floor plan a lot better than I have, because I think it's something that I need to work on. A lot of things when it comes to my builds. I'm not going to bore you with the list, but there are a lot of things that I do need to work on, and floor plans are definitely one of them. But if you do like this house, it is now available to download from the gallery under my origin ID, which is RachelPedd. The tray files are also available to download from the description below. The house is called Dawn House if you are downloading it from the gallery. But thank you so much for joining me here today. Screenshots are at the end of the video if you would like to see what the build looks like in game. But thank you again for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye!